Hello everyone, and welcome back to our series, Learning Buddhism, Understanding Correctly, Practicing Correctly, based on the teachings of Gautama Buddha. Lesson 10. There is no fixed self. There are only experiences arising. In Lesson 9, we learned a very important truth. Thoughts are not who we are. Through mindfulness, we discovered that thoughts constantly arise and disappear. Some are pleasant, while others are unpleasant. Some are helpful, while others create unnecessary suffering. Instead of believing every thought, or following wherever the mind leads us, we practiced simply recognizing, a thought is arising. The moment we became aware of our thinking, we were no longer completely controlled by it. Before that, in Lesson 8, we learned to observe our emotions in the same way. Joy comes and goes. Sadness comes and goes. Fear, excitement, disappointment, and peace all arise and pass away. Like thoughts, emotions are not permanent, and they are not who we are. Today, in Lesson 10, we will take another important step. We will bring together everything we have learned so far and investigate one of the deepest questions in the Buddha's teaching. What do we actually mean when we say, I? This may sound like a difficult philosophical question, but the Buddha encouraged us to answer it through direct observation rather than through abstract thinking. So let us begin with our ordinary daily experience. Observe yourself throughout a single day. When you wake up in the morning, perhaps you feel energetic. By afternoon, you become tired. Someone praises you and happiness arises. A little later, someone criticizes you and disappointment appears. You become irritated while waiting in traffic. Later in the evening, everything settles down again. Within just one day, your emotional state changes many times. The same thing happens with your thoughts. Sometimes you feel confident. Later, doubt appears. Sometimes you are highly motivated. A short while later, you lose interest completely. Thoughts continue changing from one moment to the next. Even the body is constantly changing. As children, our bodies looked completely different. As adults, they continue to age. Sometimes we feel healthy. Sometimes we become sick. Sometimes we feel strong. Sometimes we feel weak. Nothing in the body remains exactly the same. Everything is continuously changing. This naturally leads us to an important question. If emotions are constantly changing, can they truly be our permanent self? If thoughts are constantly changing, can they truly be our permanent self? If even the body is constantly changing, can it truly be a fixed and lasting self? Yet throughout our lives, we habitually gather all these changing experiences together and simply call them I. I am angry. I am sad. I am worried. I am successful. I am a failure. But when mindfulness becomes stronger, we begin to notice something quite remarkable. Anger appears. After a while, it disappears. Sadness comes. Later, it fades away. A thought arises. Soon another thought replaces it. If all these experiences continuously come and go, can they truly be the permanent me we have always believed in?
The Buddha invited us to look even more carefully. Rather than saying, I am angry, we may simply observe, anger is arising. Instead of saying, I am thinking, we observe, a thought is arising. Instead of saying, I am anxious, we notice, anxiety is being experienced. This change may seem very small, yet it completely transforms the way we experience life. As long as we believe every experience is me or mine, we naturally cling to it. When someone insults us, we feel deeply wounded. When someone praises us, we become attached to the pleasant feeling. When fear appears, we believe we ourselves have become fearful. When sadness appears, we feel as though our entire life has become sadness. This attachment is one of the major causes of suffering. But mindfulness gradually creates a different perspective. Instead of becoming every experience that appears, we begin to recognize that experiences are simply arising within awareness. Thoughts arise, feelings arise, sensations arise, sounds are heard, images are seen. Everything is unfolding according to conditions. Everything is changing. This does not mean that we deny our experiences or ignore that they do not exist. The Buddha never taught us to suppress our emotions or ignore our thoughts. Instead, he encouraged us to see them clearly, exactly as they are. When we observe in this way, something beautiful begins to happen. Life continues, experiences continue, but we are no longer completely trapped inside every passing thought and emotion. There is now a small but very important space between awareness and what is being experienced. Within that space, freedom begins to grow. This understanding is the beginning of what Buddhism calls non-self. Many people misunderstand this teaching. Non-self does not mean that we do not exist, nor does it mean that nothing matters. We still live, we still love, we still work. We still take responsibility for our actions. The Buddha was simply pointing out that what we habitually call the self is not a permanent, independent entity. Rather, it's an ever-changing collection of physical and mental processes arising because of causes and conditions. This understanding is not meant to become another belief. It's something to be discovered through careful observation. There is no need to accept it simply because the Buddha taught it. Observe patiently. Practice every day. Little by little, your own experience will become your teacher. Eventually, you may begin to see that there are only changing experiences unfolding from moment to moment. There is no fixed, permanent self hiding behind them. To summarize, thoughts change, emotions change, the body changes. Everything we experience is constantly arising and passing away. Through mindfulness, we gradually stop identifying with these changing processes and begin to experience a greater sense of peace, freedom, and wisdom. So, with that understanding in mind, let us now move on to a simple practice that you can begin using today in your daily life.
Hello, everyone. Today, let us practice observing experience in a slightly different way. Step 1. Whenever an emotion appears, instead of saying, "I am angry" or "I am sad," gently say to yourself, "Anger is arising. Sadness is arising." Simply notice the experience without immediately identifying yourself with it. Step 2. Whenever thoughts appear, instead of saying, "I am thinking," try saying, "A thought is arising." Observe it for a moment. Allow it to come and go naturally without continuing the story. There is no need to fight the thought or push it away. Simply recognize it and gently return to the present moment. You can practice this while walking, eating, working, driving, or talking with other people. Every ordinary moment becomes an opportunity to deepen mindfulness. If you forget, that is completely normal. Everyone forgets. The important thing is simply to begin again whenever you remember. Do not criticize yourself. Do not become discouraged. Every moment of remembering strengthens your awareness. Practice patiently. There is no need to hurry. As mindfulness grows, you will gradually discover that experiences continue to arise exactly as before. Thoughts still appear. Emotions still appear. The body continues to change. But you are no longer swept away by every experience. Instead, you begin to observe them with greater calmness, clarity, and freedom. And this is one of the first glimpses of the profound wisdom that the Buddha wanted us to discover through our own direct experience. That is all for today's lesson. Thank you for taking the time to learn and practice the Buddha's teachings. We look forward to seeing you again in Lesson 11.